Hey everyone, welcome. Is that too loud? Hey, is that okay? Second guessing myself. You'll tell me if it's shit. Hey. Okay. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Matt. In today's video, I'm going to talk to you about how we used free government money to grow our real estate portfolio, how much we got from the government, what we used to purchase with that money, and how you can find out if these programs exist in your area and how to qualify for them. Stay tuned to the end of the video where I'm going to give you a big list of a bunch of these programs so you can find out if there's one near you. I know what you're thinking. The title of this video was pure clickbait. There's no way the government's going to give you free money. All they do is take. And I would have definitely agreed with you before I found out about these programs. My only interaction with the government before this was just watching them take away a huge chunk of my paycheck every 2 weeks, week after week. It was extremely disheartening, as I'm sure it is for anyone out there who's working a 9-to-5 job. And personally, that's why I got into real estate investing in the first place. I wanted to take more control over my own financial future. I wanted to stop being dependent on other people. I didn't want to wait until I'm 65 to retire, and I knew that real estate was going to help get me there a lot quicker. So back to the main point of this video and showing you how you can get that free money from the government. So back in 2016, I just moved back to Ontario from Alberta. Nicole and I were looking to pick up another property for our portfolio, but I had only really been back in Canada for just over a year. I had just spent all the money that I had saved up on our first investment property. You can watch the video right here if you want to see that. At this point, we were pretty much broke, but we knew we wanted to keep investing in real estate and buying more properties. Now at this point, we weren't confident enough to be looking for joint venture partners, asking people if they wanted to invest with us. We're doing that now. We're helping people buy homes, grow their wealth, helping them retire early. I mean, if you want to know more about that, you can shoot me a DM on Instagram, or you can actually email me with the email down below. But at that point in time, we were definitely not confident enough to be looking for partners. So we need to find something creative to help us get that next property. So a lot of these programs that I'm about to tell you about, they're pretty unknown. Like, it's not something that most cities or governments actively promote, because usually they have a limited amount of funding for these programs. So it's not something that they're just throwing out there to everyone. It's really like you kind of find out about it from hearing from someone who heard from someone who heard from someone. So for us, we actually heard about it from a family friend of ours who just happens to be a realtor in our area. He had just mentioned when we were telling him that we wanted to buy more homes in the area, but we didn't really have a down payment ready. He said, oh, I think this area, there's actually this down payment assistance program that can help you. And they give you, he didn't quite know all the details. He was like, I think they can give you like 10, 15% of free money. You don't have to pay it back. He wasn't clear on all the details, but it got me, obviously it got my brain thinking like, oh wow, like free money, I better check this out. So after a little bit of investigative work, a little bit of Googling, I actually was able to find this very small obscured link on our city website that said down payment assistance program. And I actually found out that the program in our area would give you a 10% interest-free loan to purchase a home in the area, and you didn't have to pay it back until you sold the home. My mind was blown. I mean, there's obviously certain requirements and certain eligibility things that you have to look into for each program. Some of them are, there's usually a maximum purchase price that you can buy in that area. They'll normally have a limit on what they're actually going to give you towards the down payment, but in this case it was 10% with a cap of the actual amount that they would give you. Some of them require you to be a first-time home buyer, some of them don't. So you just need to look in your area for that program to see what the eligibility rules are, but needless to say, there's a lot of great programs out there. One of the really amazing things about these programs is that the banks will actually let you use this money as your only source of down payment funds. And because there's no interest paying on these loans, the bank's not going to hold that loan against you when it comes to your debt service ratios. So it actually makes it easier for you to qualify for that mortgage. So here's how the program worked. We filled out an application online, which then put us on a waiting list. When it was our turn, we had 90 days to find a property in our area that met all those eligibility requirements. And as long as we did that, and we closed on the property and removed all conditions, we had those funds advanced to us at the closing of our property that went towards our down payment for this home. Okay, so now for the fun part, I'm going to tell you about the property that we purchased with this program, how much we got from the program, and how this property is doing now. So the property we purchased was a 3-bedroom, 1.5-bath townhome just north of Toronto. We bought this in December 2016. The property had a finished basement and a huge backyard. There's very little work that needed to be done on this property. All we had to do was give it a fresh coat of paint. I think we had to change out some of the hardware in the kitchen and And I think the only other thing that we really had to do was just re-glaze an old bathtub because it was looking a little rusty on the bottom. Most of the work we did ourselves. We did all the painting, changed out all the hardware. The only thing we got someone to come in and do for us was re-glazing the bathtub because it was just a little bit out of our skill set. Basically, as they say in the real estate world, it was a turnkey property. So that's the description of the property, and here are the numbers. We bought this place for $332,000. The loan that we got for this down payment assistance program was $33,200. Because it was a high ratio deal, we did have to pay mortgage insurance, and that was $7,100. Total renovation costs on this property was, give or take $3,000, and our initial mortgage on this home was $305,000. And here's where that property is today. The current appraised value of this home is $450,000. We have an existing mortgage on the home of $274,000, which gives us a total equity in the home of $176,000. Now, since we have pretty much zero of our own money into it, if you do the math, the returns on this property are pretty amazing. You're probably wondering how these programs exist, where they get their funding, how they make their money, how they can lend you money with no interest paid. Well, most of these programs use a thing called shared equity. So what that means is that you will share a portion of that appreciation that you've earned on this property. Now, the cool thing with these programs is if the property goes up, yep, you got to pay them a percentage of that increase in value. But also, if the property were to go down in value, which we hope it doesn't, but if it does, you actually have to pay them back less money. So they really do create a great win-win situation for people, which is one of the huge perks of these programs. The amount of shared equity that you pay back in these programs really does depend program to program, but a lot of them do have caps on it, so you're limited to what you have to pay back, which is actually a really great perk for you. Now, I'm sure some of you might look at this program and think, oh, it probably would have been a lot cheaper if you just did a 5% down, high ratio mortgage, paid interest on that portion instead of doing a shared equity thing. And in most cases, you're probably right. It probably would have been cheaper to go that route. But at the time, we didn't have 5% to put down. So we didn't actually have the ability to get into this property if we didn't utilize this program. So even if we have to pay them 10% of the appreciation that we earned, I'm happy to give them $17,000 and keep $150,000 for ourselves. Now, not every town or city has one of these programs, but with just a quick Google search in my area for down payment assistance programs in Ontario, I saw pages and pages of different areas that were offering this type of program and just how underutilized they are. Here are some examples of some of these programs that you can find in Canada. If you're in the GTA area, we've got Options for Homes, which is a really great program. We've got Trillium Housing, which is a newer startup, but they're really good. They have some really good developments. I've seen these programs in Blue Mountains. I've seen them in Simcoe County. I've seen them in Durham, Hamilton, Niagara region. So there's a lot of areas in Ontario that utilize this program. Even in the US, with just a quick 5-minute search, I was able to find some really amazing programs in New York State, in California, in Florida. You get the point. There's a lot of free money out there. You just need to know how to apply and where to find it. If you are in Ontario and you're interested in any one of these programs, I've actually put together a full list of all the programs I could find in Ontario. You can actually download that for free. A link is down below in the description box. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I really hope you guys learned something new. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them down below and I'll be sure to answer them down there. Make sure that you subscribe and like this video, and I'll see you next week.